Hey everyone, it's David. This week we're going over the questions for Like Water for Chocolate, which came out in 1992. So the first question here is, how are emotions and food connected? So it's pretty obvious throughout the film. The first scene where we can see this is where Tita is making her food and a drop of one of her tears falls in the food. And when everyone eats the cake that she made for the wedding, everyone just bursts into tears. It's like in the film they talked about it as being intoxicating. The sense that they had, and they all started crying and later started throwing up by the river. And even midway through the movie, where Tita makes her food with love, and that is shown where everyone just feels this urge to love everyone and love themselves in certain ways. Next up is, how is history used in the narrative? So the Mexican Revolution is taking place at this time, as in the beginning it is 1910. And, well, it's pretty much shown through one of the sisters, Gertrudis, who actually ends up marrying one of the Mexican revolutionaries. This actually happens after she eats the food that was prepared with love. She runs off naked and she is picked up by a revolutionary who later in the film we see they are married and they have kids. We'll also see this when some of the revolutionaries come to Mama Elena's ranch when Tita is not there, and they actually end up killing her when she gets pushed off and she goes into the river. So next up is, how are landscapes and territories discussed in relation to food? So I saw this as more of a country, rural type of style. Places had better food, at least in my eyes through the movie, and the town kind of had worse food. As when Tita was going to Dr. Brown's house and stayed there for a while, it was in a town, and when she went, food was pretty bland of what they were making there. But when they were out in the country and rural areas, it was a lot more vibrant, and everyone could feel what went into the cooking of that said food. So it just had a different taste to it and a different vibe, I guess you could say. So next is, how are identities shaped through food? So this comes with Tita. When she cooks, she's her own person. She's not following this tradition that's forced on her where the last daughter has to take care of the mom and not get married. It's forbidden. So when she's cooking, it kind of takes that away from her and lets her be in her own place where none of that matters and she can feel how she wants to feel without being told how her life is going to be. As she loves Pedro, but she can't because of Mommy Elena telling her that she cannot. I also saw this with these identities being shaped with the food being passed on from generation to generation. As Tita passed it on to Esperanza, which is her niece, and later Esperanza passing it on to her daughter, which is Tita's grandniece. So the food that they were making with love and even the recipes that were given out, it really shows like the identity of the family, that they're one even though many have passed away before, they're still together. Lastly is, how is class and nationality discussed in relation to the kitchen space? So this comes in form with the amazing and adorable Nacha in the movie, who is actually a type of servant or worker on the ranch. She's a little bit elderly, so kind of acts as a grandma to Tita, and she really helps her on her journey. But she is Indian in the movie, and well, the actress is Indian as well. But it shows that they're more represented in the kitchen rather than at the head of the household, and even Tita being in the kitchen as well. She's not going to be the main of the household based on her nationality and her class that comes with that nationality that they all have in the kitchen. So that's pretty much it for these answers. Hope everybody has a great week.